I'm back from the UK, and that can only mean one thing. It's Shanmugam and Murali time. Now, for those who haven't been following, a bit of a background. Minister Shanmugam had first accused the SDP of dabbling in identity politics. I then responded to the minister's accusations and invited him to an open debate so that Singaporeans can see for themselves just who is playing racial politics in Singapore. He, of course, demurred, and instead Mr. Murali was dispatched to answer for the PAP. But Murali's video was posted on the day I left for the UK. I promised to respond to it when I returned, and so here we are. Now, if I may, Mr. Murali's arguments are, shall we say, lacking in intellectual rigor.
I contested in a SMC twice. I saw firsthand coordinated attempts to politicize the campaign on crude racial lines.
He added that these nasty acts were done by a small group for political purposes. Who are these people behind the coordinated attempts? Who is this small group who politicized the campaign on crude racial lines? Name them, Mr. Murali. Since you said you saw it firsthand, surely you can provide names and concrete instances of your claims. You are making very serious allegations, and we need to get to the bottom of it. You should not make allegations and then leave them hanging in the air. You owe it to the people to provide the facts. Singaporeans need to know the truth. But if you cannot or will not name the culprits, then stop your nonsense. Stop stoking such racial sentiments. And Mr. Murali then cited the instance of one of his GE posters being defaced, presumably by a Chinese person. And in the context of his video, he implies that Singaporeans, Chinese Singaporeans to be precise, vote along racial lines and therefore the need for GRCs. A bigot racially vandalized his election poster, and Mr. Murali jumps on it and uses it to justify the GRC system. Applying the same logic, can we conclude that the PAP is a racist party because one of its former MPs, Chu Wee Kiang, said that it was very dark at night in Little India because of the many Indians there? Now, this is the kind of disappointing intellectual argument that I'm talking about. And may I remind Mr. Murali that it was the Chinese majority in Bukit Batok who returned him to office not once but twice. I think he has a lot of explaining to do to the Chinese voters in Bukit Batok.
Pretending there is no difference is an ostrich dream.
Now, this is a perfect example of a straw man argument. A straw man argument is the tactic of making an argument that your opponent never made to make it easier to attack him. Now, I never said that we ignore our racial differences. I said that we need to celebrate them. What we don't do is to exploit the differences by pitting one race against another, as the PAP is doing. Stop already. It's embarrassing, Mr. Shanmugam and Mr. Murali. You are trying to justify the unjustifiable and making yourselves look really foolish in the process. Now, repeat after me. We, the citizens of Singapore, pledge ourselves as one united people, regardless of race, language, or religion. Which part of regardless of race, language, or religion do you not understand? You mean you pledge to unite the people regardless of race, language, or religion by constantly reminding Singaporeans of their race, language, and religion? You build one united people by putting CIMO on our NRICs, by engineering CDAC, CINDA, and Mendaki, by using the GRC system. You deal with racial divides by dividing Singaporeans even more. It makes zero sense. I repeat what I said in my last video. The PAP is exploiting the differences in our ethnicity to make us distrustful of each other. Then it comes in as this grand hero to unite us all. This is the classic divide and conquer tactic used by autocratic regimes everywhere. Now, in case I've not made it clear enough, let me say it again. None of us should pretend that racial differences don't exist in Singapore. They do. The real question is what leaders choose to do with that reality. Real leaders build bridges. They heal divides. They don't exploit our differences to divide and conquer. You want to be leaders? Then lead. Leaders change minds. They take people to places they may fear to go. They lift us out of ignorance and bigotry. They appeal to our better angels, not our worst instincts. Now, here are some questions that Mr. Shanmugam or Mr. Murali, or for that matter, any other PAP minister need to ask themselves. Am I inspiring the best in my people, or am I breeding the worst in them? Am I helping them grow, or am I exploiting them and keeping them afraid? Do I truly believe in equality, or only in the appearance of it when convenient? True leaders, my PAP friends, educate. They don't manipulate. Now, this is where I caution Singaporeans. The fault line in our society lies not between our races, but between the wealthy land-owning class on one side and the rest of us on the other. The PAP keeps distracting us. Look over here. Look at the dangers of this so-called racial issues, and not here. The real danger of the growing chasm between the super rich and the rest of us. By doing what they're doing, by raising the racial bogey every now and then, the PAP is trying to distract and divide us from the existential danger of the growing wealth inequality in this country. The truth is that Singaporeans are not rich. It is the foreigners who come to Singapore who are rich. It is the elite PAP and its supporters who are among the few Singaporeans, the ones who own luxury freehold landed property, who are rich and set to get richer. Even MAS Chief Ravi Menon, who is as establishment as they come, was worried enough about developments to warn that market processes are allocating an increasing share of national income to income from property and a reducing share to income from work. This is a development that we should be deeply concerned about. And speaking of the wealthy, I circle back to Mr. Shanmugam. The minister bought a good class bungalow for $8 million and sold it for $88 million. The question that Singaporeans keep asking, and one that Mr. Shanmugam keeps refusing to answer, is who did the minister sell his bungalow to? In other sales, the sellers and buyers of such properties are openly reported by the state media. Why is Mr. Shanmugam's sale not reported? For the last time, Minister Shanmugam, please tell Singaporeans who was the buyer of your property. The more you refuse to answer, the more Singaporeans want to know.